I really don't understand how those documents got into a personal residence, and we do need answers on that.
When that information is found, it diminishes the stature of any person who is in possession of it.
But the fact that there are, additional documents now in a place they shouldn't be, we need the intelligence community to do an assessment.
It's just hard to believe that in the United States of America we have a former president and a current president that basically in the same situation. How does this happen?
That's just some examples of Democrats changing their tune on defending President Biden after the Justice Department found yet another round of classified documents from his home in Wilmington, Delaware. That would be round 4. Just the latest in the slow drip, drip, drip of discoveries of the same level of top secret information the Democrats and the Biden administration shared former President Trump and shamed former President Trump for having at his Mar-a-Lago residence. Here's what just one Democrat, friend of the show, had to say during his appearance on January 16th.
If this is still going on, when it comes time to pick a candidate for the Democratic Party, Joe Biden will not be the candidate. This is not the kind of thing that's going to last that long.
Chris Hahn, host of The Aggressive Progressive, is back with us. Sometime we're going to get, and we're going to figure out how to do this, a little box so that when we're playing a soundbite of you, we can watch your reaction in real time. How does this end well for President Biden?
Well, it ends well with the special counsel coming out and say he did nothing wrong, which I've never seen a special counsel ever do that. So we'll see what happens here. But you hit it right on the head when you say drip, drip, drip. I've always said it's the drip that kills you. You know, if you could come out and control the message and give it all out at once, you usually do okay with it. And, the Democratic quotes you're playing at the beginning are very clear to me. When you're explaining, you're losing, and the Democrats do not feel like explaining this issue right now. It is too complicated for the American public to understand the differences between what's happening to Biden and what happened to Donald Trump. Hold on.
Very
different.
Look, okay, you never win insulting the intelligence of the American people. You just don't. Okay, and maybe it's not that it's not too complicated. There are differences. Maybe the American people just don't care about the differences.
Oh, I agree. They don't care. You're never going to be able to explain this to the American people that they're different. Maybe that's why I faux pas there, excuse me. But thank you for the correction. But that is really the case. The American people are never going to dig into the weeds of this issue and see that real problem with Trump was obstruction of justice and the fact that he led a coup against America, and you don't want him to have nuclear secrets. Okay. And Biden just misplaced some documents. Probably in a normal course of business. I'm sure if we look at...
I would have been all in with you. In fact, I sort of was when this story broke and said, okay, so there's some schedules that were marked classified or marked secret or whatever you want to mark in his think tank that were with his paper. Somebody missorted them. But when it's not once, then it's twice, then it's 3 times, then it's 4 times, then it's the fact that his lawyers who don't have security clearances were searching for classified documents that he allegedly takes very seriously. The differences between him and President Trump, even if you go all the way to say President Trump was obstructing, get a lot smaller.
Look, they get a lot smaller, and you really have to take the time to explain them. And if you're explaining, you're losing. The quotes you played are definitely there that the Democratic Party does not wish to explain this away for the president. By the way, neither does the president. So it's a problem. And if it's still continuing, as I said last week on this show, if it's still continuing this time in May, June, July, August, September, he's going to have a problem. And they're going to start thinking about who might want to be running for president.
It's interesting you say that. Over the weekend in the New York Times, there was a piece by Jonathan Adler that really started talking about that formally, if you will, and that there's going to be this push and potentially even a primary challenge, even the way Kennedy challenged Carter back in 1980, which didn't prove successful in that it beat Carter in the primary. It did prove successful in wounding Carter badly for the general election. Are you starting to hear Democrats' position, not necessarily for a shadow campaign, but to be ready for a shadow campaign or primary challenge?
Yeah, you could also point to Pat Buchanan and George Herbert Walker Bush and that primary challenge. But yes, look, there are Democrats that are already uneasy about Biden for reasons like his age, things you can't control, right? So there are definitely groups of people within the party. You're hearing it. There was a guest on Pod Save America, which is a very liberal podcast that comes out that I listen to, that was pushing, advocating for someone other than Biden to run. So there are people within the party that would like to do that. That said, if Biden chooses to run for president, he's going to be the Democratic nominee for president, whether there's a primary or not.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.